Welcome to the Blue Bridge and Youth Be Experience. And do we have a real McCoy number 9 at Chelsea? Welcome to FLUMINESE 0, Chelsea 2. Let's get into it. So, are the owners onto something? Because today we saw the most experienced team left in the competition against the most youthful side left in the competition. I think Chelsea's average age is 24 years old compared to FLUMINESE's, which was 29 years old. They included a goalkeeper, age 44. Thiago Silva, still got it, 40. A couple of players in their mid-30s as well. But this Chelsea youth team are coming of age. And today, it wasn't only the result, which was good. The performance, I thought, was very good today. We were very professional, looked great, and there's only one place to start, and that's Joao Pedro. Is he the real deal? I don't get carried away. You know, he's two fantastic goals, but I only get carried away if he translates this into the Premier League on a consistent basis. But if the first two games, because he was good in that second half the other day when we played Palmeiras. But if it's this guy looks confident, he's good on the ball, great striking ability, great pressing, great defensive work, and to think he was on the beach somewhere in Brazil before we got this call up, and he showed professionalism as well. In his interview yesterday, he said that he was training whilst he was on his break in preparation for a move, just in case a move to Chelsea came along, he'll be ready. And that's the mentality that I like. I saw a lot of nonsense from a lot of our fan base who, just because he wasn't this stellar name that they wanted, who were ridiculing this signing. But with me, with any signing, I don't get excited about any signing, and I don't get disappointed about any signing. I wait and see how they perform at Chelsea, because I've made countless videos where I said, look, some players who have excited me in the past have disappointed me, and some players who, you know, as I said, I don't moan about a transfer. Some players who I thought maybe not do so well, they've come in and done a good job. So, that's what we saw with Joao Pedro today. First goal, what a superb strike, a curling effort, and he used to play for FLUMINESE. Showed a bit of class as well, not celebrating. And the second goal, this is what I want from a striker, and he just it's a good move. Cole Palmer shrugged off a couple of challenges. Fantastic pass by Enzo Fernandez, and what I like about Joao Pedro, showed a lot of composure and the power in that shot. The goalkeeper had no chance. He just blasted into the back of the net. And because he hasn't really featured a lot, and Chelsea are trying to save him a bit because of, you know, he's not fully fit, they took him off on the hour mark, brought on Nicholas Jackson, and we saw the difference between the two players immediately. And no more so in the round about the 83rd minute or 82nd minute, where Jackson should really have wrapped up the game by passing it to Cole Palmer. Good pressing by Jackson, but then poor decision making. That's what we've seen throughout his career at Chelsea, just poor decision making. He tries a shot at the near post, poor shot, where a simple cross to Cole Palmer, who was on his own right in front of goal for a tap-in, would have made it 3-0, and that would have put the game to bed, because at 2-0, even with 3 or 4 minutes to go, 2-0 is still a very dangerous score. And FLUMINESE came back with a few shots. Luckily, they were off target in the last few minutes, and they've got one of those in. It would have certainly made the last few minutes interesting. But as I was saying, with Nicholas Jackson, and it's not a knee-jerk reaction, because we've seen that a lot with Nicholas Jackson. He sometimes scores good instinctive goals, but a lot of times his play is just about a lot of hit and miss and poor decision making. Today we didn't see a lot of poor decisions by Joao Pedro, but I said I'm not going to get too carried away yet. I want to see him playing on a consistent level for us, and I don't want this to be like a full storm. But the signs are good. And we've also got Delap. So is Jackson going to be staying? Because he looks like he's going to be third choice in a pecking order. Manager would have watched this closely, and he would have seen, the difference in play and mentality between the two players. Only downer for this game was the injury to Moise Caicedo. Moise Caicedo turned his ankle, and it was just 3 minutes to go till the end of the game, and he tried to come on again. He came off, so I'm just hoping that they can work on him. This is Tuesday now. Game's going to be played on Sunday. I hope it's not a bad twist, and I hope he can run it off, because we're going to need him, because we're going to have a big test. Whoever we play, Real Madrid or PSG, they're going to be difficult games. So we need our enforcer in the middle of the park, especially if we're playing PSG, because we don't want to be overrun in the middle of the park. I've got to give a noticeable shout out to my man. I can still see him on my TV screen. I've paused the game, and I've just seen him with Badia Shield, I think, but Thiago Silva, the guy still got it. He's 40 years old. And if you got it, you got it. In the right position, so many times. He cleared one off the line from Nkuku. There was one where it was coming, was it to Nkuku on the wide, or Pedro Neto? I can't remember who it was coming to, but it's a nice deft header. He led that, that defensive line was fantastic. And I heard something, the commentator did say something. When he came to Fluminense, they were bottom of the league. And then when he's come, and the next 10 games, they didn't even concede a single goal. Such is his leadership and organisation. It would have been great to have him with these younger players. Had we got him 5 or 6 years earlier, and it would have been fantastic to have him in this team. So I kind of felt for him. Obviously, I didn't want them to win, but he put up a good display, good performance. So and I got to give a shout out to all the Brazilian supporters who've sort of come over to this World Cup. They've taken it very seriously, been very vociferous, very loud. They've created a great atmosphere, and it's chalk and cheese between our first game as well and this last game before the final, because in our first game we had a paltry crowd. Today it was a sellout crowd, £8 tickets, but then they went up to £75 apparently with this tiered ticketing system that they're doing. I don't know, dynamic ticketing pricing, I think it's called. But it's a full house, lots of blue shirts, lots of Chelsea shirts in there as well. So good shout out. And my final shout out is going to go to another Brazilian team, Flamengo. Thank you, Flamengo, because Flamengo are the team, taking the mickey out of us after they beat us 3-1. But little did we know that they did us a favour, because the path we took after that was favourable for us. As I said, the Brazilians, I'm not mocking the Brazilian side, because we've seen that they can play, but it was an easier path. We ended up playing Porto, Palmeiras and Fluminense, rather than having to play Bayern Munich. And if we had overcome Bayern Munich, then we'd have to play, I think it's PSG, and then Real Madrid to get into the final. So needless to say, we've had the slightly easier route. Thanks again to Flamengo for doing that, and we're aligned. So, Maresco, lucky or good manager? What I saw today, I saw some good signs there. I can see a maturity in this side. I can see a great style of football now, confident in playing it out from the back. They've had a lot of, they've had to deal with the heat. I think we dealt with the heat quite well. In the final, anything can happen. You never know, because we've adjusted to the heat, and we'll see whether the likes of Real Madrid and PSG can do likewise. So looking forward to a final. It's not going to be easy, but anything can happen. So guys, drop a like if you are happy that we've got into the final. Let me know if you think we've got any chance of beating either Real Madrid or PSG, who play tomorrow. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and share the content. I'll see you on the next one. Up the Blues.